So, what we have here, let me get started with a couple of information about the scope of the project. And this is a scope for the business. What we have here is a company that owns a building and use it for to perform therapies to their clients. And each therapy is associated with a specified therapist. So the users of this application are the therapists. Every therapist has to operate individually and also in collaboration with the brand, the client, right? So every therapist wants to have one place to schedule their own appointments. They want to create their own personal clients, and they want to make an appointment on the rooms for inside the building that is operated from the business. The challenge here was to display correctly the availability per room, because not all the rooms work for the same purpose. Depending on the case of the client and the specification of the therapist, we can use specific room times and specific days, all right? This project was structured almost 1 year ago. It was developed by me and a business developer who work on this project. And the initial approach for displaying the availability was totally different. So the business owner didn't like it after that. So they wanted to reconstruct it and as soon as possible. So what we built right here took us 5 working days, not full time. It was 5 daily sessions with co-developer building the solution. Initially, we have everything being stored back on Airtable. We store our appointments, which is a list of appointments. Every record is one appointment. We have the users. We have internal addresses where we track our rooms. So we see that for this purpose, we have 2 rooms. For this purpose, we have 3 rooms. And for this purpose, we have 4 rooms. And then we have the clients and the external addresses. External addresses are the appointments created by the therapist on their own addresses, which can be anything random, but they want to see them in a centralized calendar. So here I am logged in as a therapist, and right here I can see the appointments overall that are scheduled. Currently, we have no appointment, so I'm going to create a new one. And by the way, the language here is in Dutch.
Yeah, I
So
was
let
gonna
me,
ask what language this is. This is in Dutch.
it is in Dutch, yeah. So let me translate it. Perfect. Make new appointment. So we select our client. I don't have any client back. So because it is empty, so I have, as a user, I want to create my own client first, right? So add a new client. I have to set their name, say test, demo, date of birth. Let's add January. Let's go somewhere past. It's a random date. Email address. Let's give it test@gmail.com. These are the text that they have to apply. City, added. So as a therapist, I can see only my own clients based on the restrictions. So I cannot see Robert's client's details here. And this is the client profile page where we can see the all appointments. Now, if I go back on our appointments page and let's translate it again. Again, it requires translate. So we can make a new appointment. Now we suppose that it will be loaded. Demo. We expect to be launched this week. and yeah, the client is performing their own tests right now, as I know. Till Wednesday, they're gonna test it for full, and then we're gonna migrate the current data.
Very nice. I think that calendars are very tricky, right? And timing is very tricky. And this is actually as you're going through it, and it becomes the tricky parts that stand out to me, the parts that from what everything you mentioned, what really stands out to me is just the way that it handles conflicts between,
Mm,
when you're trying to select one time and then but it's not really available, and just a whole system of how you're able to add in clients, and then it's represented with the back end. Like there's obviously I mean this is something that in my own experience, I can tell that uh, that you have a certain methodology, um, and you know what you're doing in order to accomplish this within 5 days, because this is not typically a 5 day job. Like this is, I can say that normally, like to get it to this stage where you're able to click and to use it, and that the main stakeholder, the client, is also involved with it, and you're able to show it to me like this. That honestly, even until now, until you just mentioned right now that you're delivering this, in my mind I had thought that this was already like that you had started this a long time ago. Like because it has the functionality that at least in my experience, I've found that that it takes time to usually it takes longer, but to usually build that out. But I think what made it happen here is because you work so closely with the client that you got their business, you got their requirements and their feedback so rapidly that you're able to implement it within
that's
a
right.
shorter period of time than usual.
Yeah, that's right. They're involved in the solution, and when we see a challenge, it's totally clear for them. Hey, here are the limitations or the options we have. Make it a choice to go to market, because the purpose is to not make it something to perfection. The perfect system is the one that brings you value in the business. So they recognize that. So we make progress live, and that's the cool thing.
Yeah. So they're able to participate in the process, and they also bring they also evolve, or they bring at least with them something that allows them to grow into to bring in that right mentality right to the project as well, because it's we stand in our own way sometimes, but I think that's part of that's part of the function we provide as well, is to help people get out of their own way.
That's right. Totally.
Very cool.